Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to episode 82, or no, 81. Sorry, 81 of the TNT podcast. I made sure. I almost said it wrong, but I did check earlier.
You got it.
On my right.
It's Friedman, sometimes known as Andrew, but usually known as Friedman.
And on my left.
Some days I am known as only Tyler, but for right now it's just Tyler. No, I can't come up with anything interesting.
And we're just gonna pop right in because we have a whole lot of news today, and hopefully an actual topic at the end, assuming the Weeb shit doesn't take over an hour like it did last week.
Don't worry, it won't be that bad.
You sure? Oh no, it takes up like literally the whole page.
So that's why he made the font smaller. He said because it was too much.
Like, it looked bigger than it is. It's a lot of like quick bullet points.
Well, we're just gonna pop in real quick, and unfortunately, we're gonna send Tyler straight to bed. Because we do have some actual Magic news that actually matters. Monday was banned and restricted update. And lo and behold, we actually had changes for once, and first time in a while. And not just to one ban and restricted list, but two.
Getting unbanned, so they're basically worthless.
So I think we talked about it a little bit, but ever since the launch of Modern Horizons, Hogak, the Risen Necropolis, and his new deck with Bridgevine, Bridge from Below, it's called Bridgevine.
And was it Altar
Bridge
of Dementia?
from Below, Altar of Dementia, and Vengevine, and all these, Gravecrawler, and Stitcher Splier. It was this crazy deck that could just combo kill you on turn 2, or attack you on turn 3 for, like, infinity damage, no matter what. So it attacked across every axis, it was super fast, it was super consistent, and considering that Modern Horizons came out about a month ago, it already made it up to almost a quarter of Modern's metagame, especially at the high end. So that's terrifying. And lo and behold, Wizards was like, hey, we can't let this happen. So they banned Bridge from Below, which is probably the best ban, because it means maybe the deck could still work. It just doesn't have the combo kill with Altar of Dementia and the Infinity zombie tokens. Because it was deterministic with 2 Bridge from Belows in your graveyard. I didn't know if you knew that, Freeman.
It was what?
If you had 2 Bridge from Belows in your graveyard, an Altar on the field, and any kind of creature to sacrifice, it was a Infinity Mill engine, or with Hogak in the yard.
Oh, okay.
You could use Hogak and enough mill to Infinity Mill yourself, and then mill your opponent by sacking all the creatures, or just attack them the next turn. Yeah. So it was almost deterministic kill on turn 3 with the right hand, with an easy hand. So they banned Bridge from Below, which is an enchantment that's super weird. It says if it's in your graveyard and a creature you control dies, you get a zombie. And if an opponent's creature dies, then you exile it. So the idea is it's a combo engine. You can sack your own creatures and just don't kill your opponent's stuff, and you'll do whatever you want. But it's a great ban, honestly, I think, because it's not run in anything else in Modern. It really didn't do...
It killed a fringe deck, so, like, Bridgevine was a deck before this that was just okay. So a lot of the, like I'm that way for the black-white tokens deck. It's not a good deck, but I'm a passionate fan. So that niche deck got actually murdered by this.
I mean, that niche deck turned into this.
To pay for balance.
I mean, that niche deck became this. It was just straight up better to do it with Hogak. So people are. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Modern now that this super terrifying deck and consistent deck is either going to get reworked and be less good, or just go away, and we're going to go back to Is it Phoenix? Because that's what's going to be a topic.
It really doesn't matter. Graveyard is way too strong in Modern right now. Like, the fact that literally every deck is main boarding like 6 to 8 pieces of dedicated.
That was kind of why they did it, because they're like, hey, if you have surgical extractions in your hand and that's not enough to stop a graveyard deck from winning, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that deck could actually fight through 3 different pieces being surgicaled out of the deck. But more importantly for us, the Commander Rules Committee put out a banned and restricted announcement with updates, which has not happened in 2 years, Freeman, apparently.
It felt way more recent.
Yep, but it was
time's just flying.
That was back when Protean Hulk was unbanned, and what got banned?
Everything.
I don't remember.
Something stupid.
Something got banned, and Protean Hulk got unbanned, and then lo and behold, they banned not 1 but 2 cards. They banned Paradox Engine and Iona Shield of Emeria, and unbanned Painter's Servant, which is now sold out everywhere. The invention is probably $1,000, and lo and behold, MTG Finance is awful again. But more importantly, these are both pretty big bans. Painter Servant being unbanned is basically a throw to the competitive community saying, hey, we took away your Freeman, I'm hearing myself.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
God damn shit.
Painter Servant is basically saying, hey, we know we took away Paradox Engine, which was like the easiest and best combo engine ever. Why don't you work a little harder for your combo? And here's Painter Servant, because that card has an infinite mill combo with Millstone and other stuff. It's also just a fun card, and it has a combo where one time it can kill one person in a turn. Or like not one time, but one time per turn you can potentially kill someone with Millstone. That's it. So they're like, hey, this is fine. Iona. So Iona is a 7-drop angel. 7 or 8-drop, I forget now. I think it's 7. It's a 7/7 flying, but its text is, when it enters the battlefield, you pick a color. Your opponents cannot cast spells that contain that color. And people don't really run it in Commander. A lot of people recognize, I think, that it's a really feels bad card, and it doesn't do a lot.
I mean, it's really big in CEDH for locking your opponent out. Like, it's a big win con.
It's a reanimate target. No one ever casts it, and it sees fringe play in Legacy Reanimator, and even, I don't even know if Vintage Reanimator is a thing, but in Legacy Reanimator, I know they run it as like a one-of sometimes. But I think the reason they gave for banning it was basically, it's just such a feel bad. Why don't we just make this official? Because if you're playing a monocolor deck and someone slams down an Iona across from you, it's like you might as well just get up and go home. Because you literally can't do anything else for that game and you're at the mercy of someone else killing you. Or killing it for you.
I'm trying to find a history of bans and unbans, so I can't tell you what changed when
I know I saw a comment on Reddit or something about what was banned 2 years ago and unbanned. But anyway, and then Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine actually affects me because one of my decks, my most combo-y Selvala deck, actually ran it. But as time's gone on, I actually think I could find a better card for it, so I'm not super upset about cutting it from the deck now. But this is a big one because this card was basically a one-card combo engine with almost anything. Paradox Engine was a 5-mana artifact from Kaladesh, of course, the block that everyone likes to shit on, unfortunately, for being overpowered. But it said, whenever you cast a spell, untap all your non-land permanents. So if you have any kind of mana creatures or anything that that does any kind of effect when you tap it, or in the case of competitive, Isochron Scepter with a dramatic reversal on, or Isochron Scepter with anything on it, or like a Manamorphose or anything, you could easily generate infinite mana and draw your entire deck and win the game with Paradox Engine. It actually enabled crazy easy combos. It's an artifact, which is usually easy to 2-4 and cheat out.
Any deck can play it.
Any deck could play it. It was almost good anywhere. There was never any real downside to playing it. And in Selvala, the idea was, if I can cast creatures to keep untapping Selvala and drawing cards, then I could draw my whole deck and make my infinite mana that way. Honestly, the combo actually doesn't work that well, and I think I'll easily find a better piece for Selvala to help her combo. But it's a big shakeup for competitive, because like we said, almost every deck ran it because it was so easy to use to win. And yeah, but honestly, they're both reasonable bans. People have been talking about Paradox Engine since it came out as far as a ban thing. Iona's a little weird.
I was not even remotely surprised to see Paradox Engine.
Yeah, it's been
just because, like, since it got printed, everyone's like, "This is busted. How are they doing this?"
Every single time a ban or restricted announcement happens, everyone's like, "Why isn't Paradox Engine banned yet?" And because it's also the kind of thing like Iona, where unless you're really competitive, you see it once and you're like, "Man, this feels real fucking bad." So yeah, that's kind of where we are now. But overall, it's pretty crazy changes. This is, like I said, the first change to Commander in 2 years. And I love the thing that they seem to be only banning cards to unban other cards. I mean, it's only going back 2 years to the last ban and restricted announcement, but still, it's really nice to see that they don't want to grow the ban list. They just want to get the absolute most degenerate stuff. And as time goes on, that changes.
The question boils down to, like, they explicitly said we got rid of Iona because of Painter Servant. So it brings up the question, were they ready to bring Painter Servant off the list and like, well, this is too bad? Or was it Iona's shit, but is Painter Servant not as bad because she's not in the format? So the question is, what were they trying to do? Because I think the original intent was they just wanted to shrink the list and get Painter Servant back in.
I legitimately think they never want to grow the list, so they're like, what can we cut? And they're like, honestly, in today's world, what does Painter Servant matter? Who gives a shit about Painter Servant? Like, really? Yeah. It's nothing. It's a combo. So, Tyler, for you and for everyone at home, Painter Servant is an artifact creature that says when it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, and every card in the game is that color now, in addition to its other colors. Or is it in addition, or just is that color, Freeman? I don't remember.
It's just that color.
Okay, every card in the game is just this color. And then there's a card called Millstone, which is an artifact that says pay 2 mana and tap it, target player mills 2 cards, and if they share a color, do it again. So if you Painter Servant...
I want to explain why that's not normally broken. So in a normal game of Magic, everyone plays lands, and lands are always colorless, and colors aren't colors. If you mill 2 lands, they don't share anything, so you stop.
So it's basically impossible to, for in this case, mill an entire deck with Millstone. You might get lucky and hit 2 or 3 times, but that's about it.
You might get lucky and hit all 36 of their non-land cards in a row, but you're not going to mill their 25 to 50 land.
But with Painter Servant, even lands have the same color as everything else. So Millstone basically says mill target opponent's entire deck with Painter Servant out. That, compared to Paradox Engine, which is usually win the game on the spot, two artifacts together that you have to activate targeting a player, and if they have a way around it, they can still survive, seems like nothing. Plus, there are lots of other commanders like 8.5 Tails and other cards that love to play with color, like giving protection from a color till end of turn. There's so many interesting things you can do with Painter Servant that aren't just the combo. So it kind of feels like Painter Servant is, hey, combo players, here's a combo we're giving you to take away Paradox Engine, because that's too easy. Here's a harder one. And, hey, casual players, Painter Servant is just a fun card to build janky, crazy decks around. Take it. You can have it again. So I think it's a great unban.
At the risk of someone doing a really stupid combo that is just like... Normally, those 2 cards, like if you're in a mill strategy, those 2 cards independently aren't that great. Together, they win the game, but like... I don't know.
That's also part of it. Is those 2 cards are not busted in any way without each other. But yeah, so it's big shakeups in Magic. Modern, a lot of people thought wasn't doing great, and now Hogak should be much less of a menace even if it's not gone. And Commander finally had a shakeup, and I honestly think it's a good one. I haven't seen any of these cards in a long time, but I know that it's exciting to have a little bit of a change like this. Because Commander has gone up in power level, I think, as time goes on, because more and more people get into it, and more good commanders get printed. I mean, look what gets printed in every new set. We get a 5-color commander almost all the time now. We got 5 3-color commanders that are all pretty good just this last set.
I know it was supposedly meant for Brawl support, but it's having a bigger impact in the commander scene.
I mean, because no one cares about Brawl.
Yeah, even Wizards doesn't.
But anyway, that's it's pretty exciting.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, but now we can let Freeman have his own long talk about how awful everything is in his world.
This is not a long talk; it's a short talk. So there's a new Pokemon trailer that came out yesterday, and they showed off the mechanic they alluded to. So everyone who saw the E3 trailer, they showed off Dynamaxing, which is your Pokemon becomes like 13 stories tall, giant inflated version of what they were before, and it's meant to replace Mega Evolutions and the Z moves from Sun Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It kind of made sense for replacing the Z moves. I'm not happy with the Mega Evolution replacement just because it made like Pokemon who used to be completely not viable, semi-decent. But today they showed off a newer mechanic called Gigantimaxing, which is basically Dynamaxing, but when select Pokemon do it, they have a form change.
Oh,
so I'm sitting here, I'm like, this just sounds like Mega Evolution with extra steps in the middle.
Sure does.
Because now select Pokemon get it. So they showed off a bunch of the... According to this one guy who leaked like 6 months ago, literally everything we've heard up till now, and nothing in his leak has been wrong so far, has alluded to some Pokemon like having a batter, so it looks like the original Pikachu design back when it was a little pudgy. There's one that turns Meowth into straight up Longcat. But it's very selective, and it feels like Mega Evolutions, but the problem is, like, when they came out with Mega Evolutions, it was a lot of popular Pokemon got them. And then when Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out, a lot of not so popular Pokemon got Mega Evolutions, like Beedrill got one.
Hey, man.
viable. It was cool. Ampharos got him. He was still not that great, but it was cool. And the idea would be that
Hey,
they
Ampharos
kept
got
doing
that
this.
hair.
More Pokemon could get them, and now this is a hard stop saying, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give specific Pokemon specific forms. It's too much work. We just want to do Dynamaxing. But wait a minute. Let's give specific Pokemon specific forms, and it's the same fucking thing that you said you didn't want to do. So, as per usual, everyone's a little annoyed.
I mean, this is kind of
No.
annoying. How many times are they gonna
Reinvent the
change-
wheel and say that we can't bring back the old thing.
Because they gotta
like,
change.
okay, we can't do like, because they introduced Mega Evolving, and they're like, or sorry, Digivolving, and
Digi-
it's like, oh no, it's too good. We got to scale it back. We're gonna make it one move, but we're still gonna keep Mega Evolves in there. All right, psych. We're gonna do this now. Like, how many times?
Every time.
How many
Every
times do I have to
time.
learn something new? Like, this is ridiculous.
Every time.
Now they're doing the limited Pokedex. Now it's like, oh man, Tangela's in the next game. Aren't you excited? We're announcing this Pokemon that you've already seen before, and that's what they want. They want to build excitement on shit you've already seen because it's too hard to do something new, and that's Pokemon. But I'm not gonna bitch beyond that because that was all they really showed off. They showed off some new Pokemon. The Electric Corgi we knew about got confirmed. There's this rock Pokemon that's based on coal, which is the whole theme of like England going through the Industrial Revolution in certain parts of the. Be cool. Then they showed off this Pokemon who's like, I'm not even gonna lie, it is a pile of whipped cream with the strawberry on top. And it wouldn't be that. Like first I was mad, and then I was more mad because we already have a Pokemon that's a pile of whipped cream with the cherry on top from X and Y called Slurpluff, and it's a terrible Pokemon, and they're just basically like reinventing the wheel again, despite the fact that they said we don't want a lot of Pokemon design crossover, and then they just straight up make the same Pokemon again, same type and everything. So I don't fucking get it. They're saying one thing and doing another.
Literally, with each news article that comes out about these games, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me want it a little bit less than less.
Like, I know.
Freeman,
I
we're
might
supposed to
just
hold you
feed
to not
Death
buying them.
The problem is I like playing Pokemon, so I'm probably gonna start playing like Pokemon X again. Like,
Do it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Like, I just am so used to playing new Pokemon games that
Listen,
Dude, build up a
I'm not bu- I'm not- I am
Soul
not
Silver.
buying
Freeman, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Death Stranding
Oh.
for like ever, and it's
then
gonna be
we're gonna
okay.
play what's it called? The Platinum Games one.
Astral, yo.
Hell yeah,
that
November's
game's
gonna be great.
Oh,
Fuck
man.
Pokemon, I don't need it. Let me
That's
just
what I'm
keep
saying.
Pokemon, man.
Astral Chains is gonna be dope. All right, Death Stranding is gonna be dope. We don't need stupid. You hear that? You hear that, Pokemon company? Game Freak, we don't need you.
We don't need this. Anyway,
we don't need this disrespect. Let's move
Anyway,
on to
I gotta find
something
the
else.
timestamp for the exact episode. But listeners, I already swore I wasn't gonna buy this game new, and my opinion hasn't changed. I'm now just saltier by the minute. Let's get off of Pokemon. Let's move on to something exciting.
Wahoo! Is this exciting? I don't know.
So
So
I thought it was. So,
okay, let's talk about it.
I'll say,
So
Joel, you'll start watching or what?
I started. So 4th of July, Stranger Things 3 dropped, and I didn't realize it had dropped, and I was really confused about why
Yeah, I heard
everyone I
nothing.
knew had started watching Stranger Things. I'm like, why is everyone suddenly watching Stranger Things? And I'm like, oh, there's a new season out. That's why. So I started watching on Sunday, and I saw the first 3 with my buddies, and at least direction alone has been insane. The music choices
Freeman,
about
you're
it.
cutting out a little.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. It's
okay.
probably the connection doing it again. I don't think it's my mic. How much of what I just said did you hear?
Like every other word.
The sound direction has been amazing between the choice of music and the like moments that songs will fade in or be used for transitions, like when the credits start rolling. Like the song choice for the end of episode 3 had me literally laughing as the credits rolled, even though it was an otherwise very serious moment, and I was loving it. So I haven't seen all of it. I don't know what the implications are for this, but I'm liking season 3 so far.
How far in are you?
3 episodes
Oh,
out of
same.
8.
That's how much we got to yesterday before I was like, hey, I want to stop watching this today.
Yeah, if it wasn't midnight on a Sunday, I definitely would have marathoned some more.
Wow.
I am watching. Wait, shit. Where am I? I'm in the middle, like literally smack dab in the middle of the second to last episode of the season.
Oh damn! So you know things.
I know a lot of things, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know a goddamn thing. If you catch my drift.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. They're
maybe
saving
I'm
it for a
just-
big finale.
Maybe I just have never gotten the idea of the Stranger Things, the alternate universe where every season of Stranger Things was a different story. But like, I'm kind of getting tired of the same cast doing the same basic
I'm
things again.
actually glad that you touched on that point because I feel the exact same thing. And what brings me to this point with what I just said earlier, I with the lack of things that I know right now, it makes me kind of upset. Like I like the show for what it is, like the soundtrack on point, like the theme is it's obviously
Still
my
amazing,
kind of thing.
dude.
You know?
Every time it came on for the first episode, I was like, oh, don't care about the show. This is still the best.
Yeah, like the theme, the attitude of it all, I'm like, yeah, I'm in it. But a show as a whole, I'm like, I need something new, or else I'm like I'm gonna be over this. I'm gonna be over this real quick. Like there's no amount of me liking this theme is gonna keep me at like sticking on this show, especially with the lack of information that I am getting up to this point.
So 3 episodes in, I am actively bothered by, hey, all this weird shit is happening. We've already done this rigmarole twice. Why is it like everyone is vehemently against talking to each other and just saying, look at this weird thing?
Wait, what do you mean they're against talking to each other?
Like, it feels like end of episode 2 into episode 3, you guys are going to know what I mean. In a bathroom, there was a bloody handle.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember this, Freeman? It was in
Yeah.
episode... Okay. How do those people in that situation not make a phone call?
Easy. For story purpose.
Like, considering who one of them is and who they're living with...
I mean, isn't it?
Cut out.
You cut out right... You're like, isn't it? And then it buzzed.
Isn't it established they don't want the larger government involved, and Hopper's basically their cover up for anything?
But why would he ever... Why would he assume it's anything? He would at least know the information. It's still a local disappearance.
I mean, if we want to be nitpicky here, those characters were currently involved in a minor feud with the chief of police of the town and didn't want to talk to him.
I feel like it's just... I feel like the characters should have learned by now. Like,
Nah,
considering...
I want to remind you, they're all like 12.
Okay, that
No,
doesn't
all right, so
fly.
here I gotta step in. No, because these 12-year-olds somehow like they have access to this knowledge, right?
knowledge.
And this older than what they seem to be kind of attitude, like towards the world, towards like most things.
You know what
right?
it is?
Outside of nerd shit, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that they're not gonna make rational decisions.
Well, no, I think the show
Despite-
is actually trying to stop us from saying that, Tyler, because they're constantly going on about how dumb the boys are and all they don't get girls and yada yada yada, and who wants to kiss girls all day and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
but then later
But-
on, they all do some like
Yeah,
phenomenal thing.
but you can't then
I'm like-
flash back to when they were young and they were like, oh, remember when they like met Elle after this, and they like, remember when Elle closed a portal to another world with her mind and like in another season?
Yeah, I'm like, these kids are like way more than capable of taking care of themselves on their own.
They should be like, this is weird shit. Or, okay,
like-
there's also the basement. Remember that cage in the basement that was covered up? Oh, that's really
Yeah.
weird. We'll just kind of throw it at our news people who obviously don't have anything good to say forever.
Which
Well, hold on.
what?
That cage, nothing they saw was supernatural. It was just weird. They were just following a real news story. Like, nothing about
Yeah.
that screamed, this has to do with the Upside Down.
No, but it's still weird.
I mean, are you going to start calling the police for everything weird because they're like,
No,
oh,
not call the
I saw a
police, but
sky monster once?
communicate with the other people who have been through this insane amount of fucked up stuff.
Well, it's like, just because you went through something the other
Why
once
did
doesn't
you
mean
leave
you're
it there?
always gonna
Why
be-
did they leave it there?
Why did they leave what there? The rat?
Yeah. I'm trying to talk around it.
Yeah,
it's a brand new season. It's less than a week old.
Sorry, listeners. We're going to talk about spoilers up to
It's
episode
fine,
3
it's
out
fine.
of 8.
Why would they leave it? Why did they think later this is proof? What are you
I
thinking?
mean, at what part in season 1 and 2 did either of those two characters go rushing to talk to other parts of
But
the
she's
cast?
clearly looking for proof to advance her career beyond dirt.
I
Why do you
understand
leave
that,
it
but, like,
there?
Why would you assume it's connected though? Like,
It's not.
I
She
don't
was
think they
actively
knew it was
researching.
connected.
No,
so why the fuck would she go find her brother and her brother's friends?
I'm not talking about that in this case. Okay, Elle with the bloody handle had a reason to talk to Hopper. I'm saying for the rat, why didn't she just take it with her to the newspaper?
I mean, they've already established Elle's a character who wants to she wants to be the one to do her thing, and we've seen that all now doing these adventures to spy on people on her own without anyone else but her and her pal knowing about it. Like, I don't think her actions are unjustified this season based on her behavior.
Wait, which one are we talking? Are we talking about Elle? Or are we talking about
I mean, I brought up both. Freeman's
Nancy.
talking about Elle. I'm also talking about Nancy, though.
Well, when you said the bloody handle, you're referring to the one in the shower?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
At the pool?
No, at the house, at the friend's house. The ice, the tub full of bags of ice that melted.
the friends,
Then they find the whistle and the pouch.
and they bring it back to the pool. And
Yeah, they
they're
bring it
like,
back to the
"Yo."
pool and they're like, "Hey, we found this girl's stuff."
They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
whatever, man, just leave it here."
Yeah, because you made it sound like you were referring to Nancy being the one handle. That's why I was confused.
No.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm saying Elle, I feel like should have at least, like, that's clear evidence of a kidnapping or worse. Clear
we
evidence.
Just saw 2 whole episodes of how she just want to deal with Hopper right now.
Well, I don't know if that's where that's coming from. I think she much more doesn't want to deal with her shitty boyfriend right now. I actually think that it seems to be implying that that's turned around and now she just hates him. Like, she wasn't super getting pissy at Hopper when he was like, "Why is your friend here?" when he burst into her room. He was like, "Yeah, you can have a sleepover, whatever."
I mean, I read that scene kind of differently. It was more of just like her and her friend felt kind of like empowered against Hopper. Like, even what's her name? I keep forgetting her name. The red-haired girl. Even she was just like making fun of Hopper
I mean,
as he came in. So they're in a.
that's putting
they,
a
like,
lot
don't really
on the.
respect him.
That's putting a lot on. Okay, even with all that, why didn't Nancy bring the rat?
Again, seeing a rat going crazy has absolutely nothing to do with season
But
1
if
and 2.
you're
'Cause
gonna
she
try
didn't
to
see
write-
it get liquefied,
No,
though.
but if you're gonna try to write a news article about it, why would you leave it there? She is deliberately trying to get a news article posted about this.
Yeah.
If this is her one goal, why would she not think of getting the rat as proof until later?
He's getting, I don't
Do you
know.
really think bringing the rat to the office would have changed everyone's opinion on this story?
I
They
mean,
saw
it's
the
a lot
rats.
more
They didn't say the
tangible than
rats
what-
didn't exist. They just said that this story.
all they
is
had
not
was still
significant.
pictures of a rat in a cage. They don't care.
Well, it's a couple of things to that. One of them is like the point is made like later. I don't think you guys got to that. I can't remember. But like she didn't bring enough substantial evidence, and like it is also supplied that like they just don't give a shit about her. Like
Yeah,
what
I
she
don't think bringing the rat
does.
would have changed anything.
I feel like the
they
only
would have looked at it and they would have been like, "Oh,
Ooh, Nancy Drew
Like,
found a
that-
crazy rat.
it's like that's not as sexy as X, Y, and Z," because that's exactly what they said.
That's fine, but the only reason she doesn't bring the rat, she doesn't try to do the rat until later, is because they needed it to liquefy while they were gone. Like, that's what bothers
Yeah.
me about
Again,
it, is
I
they
don't think
clearly...
these are bad things.
I don't know.
For
It's...
great entertainment.
Also, if I'm perfectly honest, I hate the storyline of Possession. It's so... I fucking
It's been
can't
done
stand it.
so many fucking times.
As someone who doesn't like horror, like, Possession is just so played and
No, I've had a
frustrating.
big
It
problem with it,
frustrates
too.
me because I'm the kind of person who watches this and is like, how do you beat this?
I get it's like it's supposed to be like a throwback or whatever. I'm like, you could at least be a little bit original about this.
I don't know.
Like, I feel like it's like, as far as the themes for the story goes on, it feels like a hodgepodge at this point.
It feels like they needed a third season with this same cast because they committed at season 2 to doing more with these guys, and it's too
Or-
popular to let it go.
they could do a deck. I propose this: if they're gonna keep the same cast, do the next deck, do a '90s. Then
Oh, jump
it's
20
not
years?
it's not gonna hold up probably, and it's not gonna like maybe have the same effect, but they have the opportunity to do that.
What is actually the point, though, of time jumping? Because clearly they all want to get jobs and do things that aren't involving, like, the paranormal.
Right.
They're all
Or maybe
avoiding it.
not. Yeah, I could see Dustin maybe getting into it.
I don't
Well,
know.
then you have like an it type scenario where it's more just like the resurgence of the same storyline, but when they're older.
Also, it's so frustrating to have an enemy whose powers change every single season.
Yeah.
Where is this power coming from? Like,
Like
it's never addressed how thousands of rats from miles away all congregated and exploded. How did that actually happen?
Well,
I mean,
I
given that
think
we're on
what
episode
this,
3, I expect we're gonna get an explanation by the end.
Does that actually get explained, Tyler? I don't care what it is. I'm just asking, does it come up?
all right, so the Mulan trailer came out.
Are we, all right.
I'm just gonna refer. I'm gonna refer you guys back to my initial statement.
That listeners haven't seen this episode or these episodes yet, and you don't want to
Well,
ruin it.
there's that, and the fact that I didn't learn a goddamn thing.
Okay,
Oh.
that's fair. But then that's even worse. That feels worse for me. Why is this
man.
happening?
I mean, you might find out, but where I'm at right now,
Nah.
nah, absolutely not.
Can we just call this the Disney Power Hour for these next two? Because these are basically connected. Or
Yeah,
are they actually different things?
No, they're different things. They happen
They're
in
different things.
We're reporting in reverse chronological order on
Mulan. Hey, it's
Oh yeah,
Mulan.
I am. I did post these in a reverse chronological order. But I'll talk about Mulan because I like Mulan better than Little Mermaid, and I'm more upset about it because for all those who don't know, the live action Mulan trailer dropped on Sunday, I believe.
I thought it was like
And
yesterday. I don't
it
know.
looks like they're taking a lot more serious tone on the whole original story. Same story, but a lot serious. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how Disney's gonna pull that off. But my biggest concern is that this wasn't shown in the trailer. If you haven't seen it, but apparently Mushu, the dragon, voiced by Eddie Murphy originally, isn't gonna be in the live action movie. Now I'm not talking about Eddie Murphy. I'm talking about Mushu, like the character.
Yeah, Mushu's not a thing.
Or he is, but he's going to be a phoenix instead, not a dragon.
So I couldn't find any sources on that one. So I'm not sure where you heard that.
Oh, I was looking around and they're talking about it. Maybe that's wrong. I hope that's wrong.
Long story short, we're not getting Mushu. But probably the most criminal thing is there's no singing.
Oh yeah,
this
no
movie.
singing. No, but
Like-
they're gonna do. Was it the orchestral or whatever?
Apparently, the
version
themes or motifs
back.
from the original songs will make an appearance. So I guarantee you're going to hear like the theme from "Be a Man" in the background during some kind of training scene. But you're not going to hear the song "Be a Man," and I hate that because
Lame.
that's like when I think of Mulan, like "Be a Man," the song that plays during the credits, and then the reflection song. Those three are the ones that I always think of immediately when I think of Mulan. And now that we're not getting that, like it cuts a little deep. Like I'm excited for this movie because I like the story of Mulan, and I think a Disney funded like essentially Chinese war film is gonna be pretty cool. But it's gonna kill that Disney magic for me.
Yeah, and also like some of the soundtrack, like during the battles, are very campy-esque, like almost like Dragon Ball kind of to me.
Yeah,
And like, but it sets the tone, right? It fits the tone, the overall tone of the movie, and like the animation style and all that. But like, I wonder what they're gonna do, like, differently. I guess I'm curious. I'm curious enough to maybe check this out. But nah, I don't know.
yeah, like that's the thing. So I wasn't too happy when they announced that Lion King was CG, but the fact that they're keeping, I think all plus some additional songs for that movie made me excited because I love the music of the Lion King. So I am tempted to see that one, but I don't know. I'm not watching Mulan in theaters, but I'm interested to see it. My boy Jimmy Wong from the Command Zone podcast is actually going to play one of the three soldiers Mulan is friends with. I think he's playing
Oh,
Ling
for
in this
real?
movie. So it's gonna be weird seeing him in this movie.
Okay, that's gonna be cool. There's someone also famous that I knew who's playing Mulan's dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know him from?
I don't know who or what he's from. I've seen him though.
I didn't watch the
Oh, we'll
trailer,
find
so I
out.
can't tell you.
It's honestly nothing. It feels
It's not.
more of a teaser than
Yeah, like they don't really show anything. It's just you get to see you see the actors. They
yeah.
allude to like the matchmaker scene at the beginning of the movie.
Yo, if anyone hasn't seen Mulan the original, it's all right. I'm going on record. It's probably my favorite Disney animated film
Could see that.
next to Hercules.
It's just oh wow, I didn't know you liked Hercules that much, but I will
Oh
stand by
yeah,
Mulan. See,
yeah.
the
Mulan's
thing
buy
that
that.
great.
I
the
could buy
thing
that.
that carries Hercules for me, ironically enough, is also the music.
I mean, that's what
Yes.
The
carries
music in those Disney movies carried them for me.
Yeah, that's where the best ones were.
But like they're getting rid of the music, and it sucks.
I mean,
Right.
it's
You know,
another
because
Disney
Be a Man.
remake that I'm not gonna go watch. That's
Because
it.
man, Be a Man is probably one of my
Be
most
a
sung
man.
Disney songs of all time.
Oh, I got us
Be a
copyrighted. Whoops.
man.
Anyway, but the best thing about this whole trailer was since they announced they're using like I think it's entirely Chinese cast to be authentic. This came off the heels of the Little Mermaid announcement that
Yes.
the Little Mermaid is not being played by a white ginger. And the follow up was why can't Mulan be Mexican is the number one comment I saw all over Facebook of people just
Incredible.
being salty that they didn't get their perfect recreation of the Little Mermaid.
Now, but here's the thing with the Little Mermaid. Do you think that like the actual hate is real for Little Mermaid being black, or do you think is people just artificially making these complaints? Like, as in, like,
So I
oh,
think
there are
a
people out
lot of
there complaining.
I think what it is there's the first group start off saying that I don't like it because it's different, and then a second group is saying, "Oh, you only don't like it because she's black," and it's this struggle between do people actually have an issue with her being African, or is it they just don't like that this adaptation is changing more than they want?
I really just hate the internet at times like this because this has been the same story for like 5 years on everything. Everything
Yeah.
that's different. Some people say they don't like it's different. Some people are racist about it, and then everybody cracks back against both parties because they see them as wrong, and then everybody gets pissed, and then the internet's on fire, and it happens every time, and then it dies down in 5 days, except for 20 people who keep yelling at each other.
I mean, I'm gonna be real here. Little Mermaid's just okay. I'm not seeing this movie regardless of who they cast as the lead actress.
Yeah. Yo,
Unless
y'all wanna?
unless there's some crazy casting for King Trident, I'm not seeing this movie.
You mean like Terry
Terry
Crews?
Crews.
If Terry Crews is Trident, maybe I'll see this movie.
I saw an article on IGN while I was looking for stuff that he like petitioned himself to play King Trident. I was like, you know what? I would see this movie.
Oh my god, maybe. If the rest of the casting is good, I'd
No,
consider.
Triton's
Like,
in it 5 minutes. I would not see it for him.
5 minutes. He has a battle against the Kraken.
And he loses
He
in half
does.
a
And
second.
he eats shit, but whatever.
I don't know. Terry Crews is one of those things that like sells things for me. Unfortunately,
I mean,
it's not
justified.
right.
And yet you haven't
do you watch
watched
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
Nine-Nine? He's amazing.
I
in that.
have. I was
Okay.
watching
Oh,
Brooklyn
yeah.
with
So you
Leslie,
already
and
know
then we
the
moved,
magic.
and then I haven't started back up again.
It's okay. I need to re-get
Re-get.
Hulu for 5 minutes just to watch it all and then get rid of it again.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm. As far as the movie's concerned, I'm as much as part of your world is. I love that song so much. I'm man enough to admit it.
I reference that with So Who Cares, No Big Deal, I Want More anytime I get hyped over something that I really shouldn't be hyped about.
Oh, I just remembered. So I had a conversation. This is within the same vein. Because I was looking at Little Mermaid because I was like, oh, who sings, like, who plays Little Mermaid? And I noticed that this movie and like most other movies at the time are rated G. And I'm like, whoa, man, that's kind of weird. And like my mom was talking about oh, what movie did she see recently? There was some movie where she was like, where she saw with her friend, where it was like, oh, I wouldn't show little kids this. Oh, Aladdin. Aladdin. Apparently, she was referencing, and I'm just gonna say the scene because everybody has seen the original Aladdin when Jafar turns into that giant ass snake
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I wouldn't show my kids that." I'm like, "Mom, you showed me movies like that all the time when I was a kid." No, I didn't. I was like, "Yo, what about Little Mermaid?" All right, like she's talking about like, "Oh, you don't need to talk to a guy to seduce him. All you need is like, that ass." And she's like, "Ah, you got a point. You got a point there." I was like, "Yeah, exactly." Talking about was it in Lion King, the uncle killing his father deliberately, watching his
That's murder.
father die. That's murder. Long live the king, dude. Fucks a kid up. Rated G.
Rated G for everyone.
G-rated movie has murder in it. Now
Look, man.
explain that to me.
But it's
Look, man,
animals.
animal death is fine. That's how we can have like Old Yeller being. Actually, I don't know if that's rated G, but whatever.
Old Yeller. Wow.
Old Yeller. But that's
Oh
an
man, I
interesting
spoiled the end of that
conversation
movie
to
for all of
have.
our listeners.
Yeah, right. But what? How many fucking years? Like 50 years,
Look, I'm about to
30
spoil the
years,
end of Wizard of Oz if we're not careful here.
dude. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get far, far away from this Western media shit and just jump right into the weeb shit. Just low key casual. I was looking for a transition, couldn't find one. Anyway,
That's good though.
there was a lot of all right. There's a ton of small announcements because Anime Expo is from July 4th all the way until I think it actually ended yesterday. So
Yeah.
super long. A bunch of studios came all the way here to make their announcements, which I think is amazing. It means they acknowledge Anime Expo as like one of the big places to make announcements, which is super cool.
Wow.
A bunch of studios had big stuff to talk about. Studio Trigger, love talking about them. They came to announce their brand new anime, which I saw the post on Reddit called. They said Trigger announces brand new animal, which is the title. And I sat down and I read brand new anime, and I'm like, okay, but what's the title? And they're like, oh, the title's BNA, and they showed off the principal image for it, and it looks like a bunch of furries in cyberpunk. So I have no.
I mean, I'm half about this. What?
I'll just post the image. If anyone searches
I'm
for
just googling brand new animal.
animal,
Here, yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, if you search it, the first couple images show you what the
Oh,
aesthetics look
God.
like. I'm not really sure. So you could argue this is a cat girl, but
That's
I don't know.
very much a cat. Holy
I'm pretty sure this has
fuck.
something to do with like DNA splicing in the future kind of plot line. I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. As long as they don't shoehorn in some weird shit about aliens at the end like Trigger usually does, I think we're
Is
A-okay.
this Zootopia?
I think they're really yeah, they might be going for that.
Zootopia 2 Electric
Cyberpunk.
Boogaloo.
Is this Zootopia 2027?
I think you mean 2077, Tyler.
2077.
No, he's living even further in the future. But that was what Trigger's doing. They also announced they are dubbing the movie Promare, and their Studio Trigger themselves is going to have a hand in picking the dub cast. I'm not. They announced some studio that's going to work on the dub, and I have no clue who they are. So I really don't know which group of voice actors they're going to pull from. But point is, we're going to get that movie stateside. Next, we have Studio Wit of Attack on Titan fame announcing their new project called The Great Pretender, which just led everyone to make a bunch of Foo Fighter memes over the weekend. But they announced it's going to be a comedic drama between worldly famous swindlers, which sounds like they want to do like a Lupin the Third-esque series. So I'm excited to see what they do. Right now, Studio Wit, they just wrapped up Attack on Titan Season 3. Great season. I highly recommend it for all fans who gave up after Season 1 to watch it. But currently, they're working on a show called Vinland Saga, which is Amazon exclusive. Surprise, this shit's happening again. But from what I've heard, apparently people compare Vinland Saga to Berserk. So I'm going to give it a shot to see what the hype is about. But weirdly enough, they dropped the first 3 episodes this weekend on Amazon. Very weird for an episode launch, but I'm genuinely curious because like these products have been enough that Studio Wit said we'd rather do these than Attack on Titan. So I'm confident there's got to be something.
Luckily, they only have to do Attack on Titan one more time.
Right.
Yeah. Did I talk about it last week? I don't know. Attack on Titan did announce they're coming back next 2020 for their final season.
Yeah.
People were speculating there'd be an announcement of a studio this weekend, but honestly, we're way too far out for them to do that. We still don't know who's going to work on it. But on to the next group that had announcements, and it's Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll announced that they have the distribution rights for the When That We're not sure if that means they're going to put
Damn,
it on
you
the
just
website.
cut
If
out
they're going to
again
do like a
pretty hard,
theatrical.
Freeman. We heard you now,
So-
but you're like dropping like 2 words at a time
It's,
every now
dude,
and then.
Discord says I have read.
Oh,
Discord
no.
says I have read.
God damn it!
It's okay. I've been there. You sure you're not like downloading a couple Steam updates in the meantime, Freeman?
I have nothing else open.
Maybe your
All right.
family is streaming like to 10 other devices.
Stall for 3.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Stall for time.
We're stalling.
Tyler, why don't
not
we? Oh,
stalling.
there is one thing we can bring up before Freeman gets back. So My Hero Academia, they announced. Oh fuck! Freeman came back too fast.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's the
It's only 3
connection. I'm trying to
seconds.
I was
close out of
gonna talk-
everything.
I started talking about the My Hero movie, but no, we can go back to what you were talking about, the Konosuba shit.
So Crunchyroll is going to have the outside Japan release rights to the Crunchyroll the Konosuba movie, and my connection is still ass. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Mostly.
All right,
I'm actually
so-
gonna disappear for 3 seconds because my phone's about to die. But keep going.
Also 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. But Tim's recording. If he disappears, does it mean we lose all the audio recording?
No. He's walking away.
Oh, anyway, so they're gonna get the
Yeah,
Konosuba
it's
movie.
not-
We don't know if it's gonna be a theatrical thing or it's just gonna be on the website. If it's theatrical, that kind of sucks. I just want to be able to stream it. But they did announce they're getting the OVAs from season 2 that didn't get released outside Japan. OVAs are basically porn.
Wait, what?
Like the OVAs, which didn't air on TV and were just DVD
Right.
only, were very
Risque.
suggestive.
Oh.
Yeah, risque is a good word to use. Like
Huh.
you know in episode 9 of Konosuba when there's that whole succubus subplot.
Yes.
Like imagine if they turned that episode up a bit.
Wait. What do you mean turn it up a bit?
Yeah, imagine they turn. I don't
How
know.
do you turn
I
that
haven't
up?
seen these, but I've
Like
just heard.
that's as itchy as it gets without
Damn
it.
it!
them,
I had to
actually
kill
going-
Steam and that closed my soundboard that had the anime WoW sound effect, but that would have been the perfect
Oh.
opportunity to use it.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
literally itchy without it, like without them being topless, though.
I mean, like, they may not be wearing clothing and just have like hair covering the bits. That might just be the anime approach to it. For anyone
Yeah.
who watched the last season of Sword Art Online, the final villain of that season was naked the entire time, and just strategic use of hair made it PG-13. So I wouldn't be surprised if Konosuba did something similar, given that every character has long hair. But the other big thing Crunchyroll had to announce was that about Crunchyroll and Funimation's partnership ending earlier this year, and that was to help them get shows that Crunchyroll could stream them and then Funimation could sell the DVDs. Since Funimation's out of the picture now, Crunchyroll doesn't have a way to do home media releases for shows it licenses. They finally announced they're partnering with Viz Media, which isn't really a big surprise considering they're both owned by the same parent company, which is in turn the same parent company who's launching HBO Max and taking Friends away from Netflix.
Get
So
fucked.
they're doing the agglomeration effect. I don't know what's good, I don't know what's bad. We'll see what happens.
I don't. Yeah. How is
Whoops,
that?
sorry.
How is that gonna? What?
Charger
Oh, he's
got
back.
Charger got misplaced for a minute.
Talking about
Alright.
Crunchyroll partnering with Viz, but I think
To
we're
do,
moving
like,
on.
Yeah, the next one is
To
Tim
Made in
relevant, so I was
Abyss.
just kind of slowing. So the Made in Abyss movie, I told you guys over the weekend what the announcement was that the same studio that brought the recap movies to the US announced that they are going to bring the new Made in Abyss movie, which is
The
a
movie that
continuation of
matters.
the plotline. The movie that everyone actually wanted to see. That movie will be coming to US theaters, which is very exciting. And they showed off a trailer with no subtitles. So we just had to figure out from context what it's about. And the trailer is just a lot of the man they established as the main villain, Bones Root, is that his name?
Don't remember.
He's just
Creepy
walking
as
through this
fuck,
dark
though.
hallway, looking real fucking creepy. And I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for this movie. And now I kind of want to rewatch Made in Abyss.
Luckily, it doesn't take very long.
I know it's a short series.
Never saw it. Still,
Still very good.
It's a doozy.
Should
from
watch
what
it.
I hear,
It's 13 episodes. It's not a long ride. Also, I think you'd enjoy it a lot, Tyler. It's got a lot of adventure going on, but it's not a happy adventure.
it's not. But it looks so adorable.
It also looks gorgeous. Is it the same studio, Freeman, making it?
He is doing the whole thing, and Kevin Perkins, the sound guy from the original series and Shield Hero, is coming back. Well, no, he didn't do the opening.
I
theme,
know.
he did the sound-
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Look, that's the one music that comes into my head when I think of Shield Hero.
Oh, I just remember that epic sax song every time the giant chicken's on screen. Anyway,
Oh my.
also at Anime Expo, the Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 teaser happened. They did not live stream it like they said they would, but simultaneously in France there was another
Lied.
French. There was a French anime.
There was a French
showed
at.
off the-
God, yeah, Freeman, you're like disappearing for about 3 seconds at a time.
Can we just join a private call? The server's being really
Sure,
bad.
let's try it. All right,
hang on.
3 seconds of different effort. Unless Freeman's gonna add us to a call. Live and on the air. Here, I'm gonna call Freeman and add
This
you.
will just be cut.
Nah, it's not. No. All right, here we go. Getting it going. Getting
All
it
right,
working.
I hope it was just the server.
I'm adding Tyler to the call. There we go.
All right.
Alrighty.
Honestly, we should just start doing this from now on, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean-
the servers can be unstable.
Okay.
All right, so it should be better. What was the last thing you heard me say?
You said France. Someone in France.
So while Anime Expo is happening, there was also another French anime convention happening where they did literally the same thing. They showed off EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, 10 minutes with French subtitles, and they decided that's the one we're going to stream out to the world. So there's a copy with French subtitles floating around there. I watched the whole thing without understanding what's going on and looked up the translation after. It's just technobabble, but they showed off 10 minutes of this really pretty well done action sequence of the what's her name? Marie, the character who's new to this movie series, it wasn't in the original series. She's fighting these other Evas over the ruins of Paris, France. I think they knocked down the Eiffel Tower during the fight.
Damn.
But it opens up some weird implications given that most of the series hasn't really taken place outside of Japan. So it looks like an Eva movie. I'm gonna say that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in, I guess, 2020 when they're planning the release.
Speaking of a movie not coming out in 2020.
Wait, is the Hero Academia
fall
movie
this
not
year.
coming out in 2020?
No, it's fall this year, dude.
Oh, I thought it was all right. So the Hero Academia movie that had just got announced, it was like barely a couple weeks ago they first announced the existence of this movie. But the creative Hero Academia who goes to Anime Expo every year because he's a huge Westaboo, he confirmed that this should be the last Hero Academia movie. And I think this has to do with the fact that unlike Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, his movies have, or at least the first one was canon to the plot line. Nothing that happened in the movie, like you could slot it in as an episode of the show.
Could, even though they don't talk about it, you could.
Well, they did refer to it in one episode.
What?
In season 2 of Hero Academia, they had that one episode where it was like the fundraiser for love or some shit, and they had a flashback to right before the summer break.
You mean the one where they like All Might's a villain and like they're like a murder mystery almost kind of thing?
Yes.
That was just an ad for the movie. That wasn't referencing the movie.
But point is, he wrote the movie so that it can canonically slip right in the movie, right? Just like having fucking
So
Broly
basically,
and Bio Broly
yeah, I was just gonna say,
right during that week before the Cell Saga.
So basically, the smart thing, because hey, these movies are canon, not these movies just exist.
So the thing is, he writes the movies to be canon. Not all of these movies are written by their original creator. Like I don't think the Naruto author had anything to do with any of the Naruto movies.
Yeah,
beyond
that's
the
called
first one.
stupid.
Yeah. So he alluded to this being the last one. I don't know if it means it's the last one he's going to work on, or the last Hero Academia movie.
I would assume it's last Hero movie.
It might be just because of how things are going with Hero Academia. But that said, he did say this one is going to be even more plus ultra than the last one.
Hell
And the
yeah.
last movie was already insane.
Dude, the last
So
movie was great.
My
Holy shit.
expectations of this one might be a little too high right now. Like I don't know if they can top the amount of hype from the first movie.
I just always think of the Devil May Cry 5 thing. When Devil May Cry 5 got announced, the Japanese director came on stage and was like, "We will exceed all your expectations."
Oh my god!
And I feel like it's the same thing right now. Like, we will exceed all your expectations, and we just got to see what happens.
Yo, but maybe. though.
The title also came out for this.
I hear that it's called like Heroes Rising or
Yeah,
something.
Heroes Rising or Heroes Ascending or something like
yeah,
that.
and they showed the principal arc, which is just like
Deku and Bakugo.
Deku and Bakugo in the foreground, All Might in the background.
Wow,
so it says
never seen that before.
Literally nothing on what this movie is going to be about. It's just that I guess Bakugo has more.
Maybe they're
significance
gonna
in
do the
last
dual punch instead of
Oh my god, if they like, I want them to team up, but that's like absolute horseshit. There's no way that's gonna happen. And I like, if that's what's going to happen, I can't watch that movie in theaters with the screaming fangirls.
Oh,
Dude,
there are gonna be girls like actively running around, pulling their hair out, screaming if that happens.
Like, I still can't get it. Like, I rewatched the Hero movie with my buddy, not in the theater, and I'm like, this movie does not seem like gay in the slightest right now. But oh boy,
As soon as the girls are squealing,
when you watch with the yaoi fangirls, it makes every scene with like Bakugo or Todoroki seem like straight up confirmed ships flying around left and right.
Dude, speaking of that, like, I went to r/Shield Hero the other day, and there's so many people. Apparently, they were starting to ship Motoyasu and Naofumi, and I'm like, why does the internet?
No. It's a meme that you do that. It's more.
No, shut up. Shut up. Memes, those kind of memes are what ruins the whole thing. Because then people start to believe it, and then everybody hates life. Fuck that. That's not a meme. That shouldn't be a meme. That's terrible. Shut it down. Shut it. Reddit was a mistake.
Making fun of people who think that's a real ship is a meme, but the ship itself is not a meme. There are people out there who think that, but
someday the internet is going to black hole itself to death, and I can't wait.
What do you mean someday? It's already like 80% through, and we're at peak memeage before Third Impact starts.
Good, do it.
And then it's just over.
Third Impact.
Just swallow yourselves whole.
This
hey
is
man,
the
we're still in the middle of the week shit.
I'm glad that Tim wasn't able to understand that reference.
I am glad as well.
God, you
Anyway,
should have saved that for like the last.
Back when I was talking about Eva.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to some fake news. So there's a lot of trouble in the anime community about getting news correctly. There are some sources who claim to be reliable and they'll just spew shit. And for the last 2 weeks, every source that claims to be air quotes official has had a different status about the show Fire Force that I'm going to talk about a little bit. But when it first got announced, everyone's like, this is going to be 4 cours, 52 episodes or 48, depending on how the seasons line up. And everyone's like, all right, it's going to be 48. It's going to be 48. Then the Blu-ray count comes out, and everyone's like, this only looks like 24 episodes. And then someone's like, nope, it's still confirmed 48. And then another guy's like, no, there's a break in the middle. It's going to be, 24 and 24 and a break in the middle. And someone's like, no, there is no break. It's just 2 separate seasons. And no one has a straightforward answer on how many fucking episodes Fire Force is going to be. That said, it's definitely going to be 24 episodes in the first season, so I'm excited for that. What were you going to say?
Oh no! So wait, do you want to talk about this show now?
We can talk about it real quick. I'm just gonna fire off the 2 Netflix announcements, and then we'll talk about what we watched.
Okay.
All right. So real quick, Netflix announcements. Studio Bones, who's known for Hero Academia, Full Alchemist, among other shows, they have a show right now called Carol and Tuesday, which is very interesting. With these 2 girls who are like forming a band together, and it's a much more serious show. I'd compare it to like Violet Evergarden. So it kind of fits like the Netflix anime grooving. Point is, it's been in Netflix jail for the season while it's airing, but they did confirm that the first half of it will be coming out beginning of August. So we don't have that much longer to wait to see some of it. I'm interested to see that they're doing the first half instead of waiting for the entire thing to come out. I don't know if that means that they're like writing the show so that there's a very clean cut at episode 12, but we'll see. But in the meantime, a show that I watched, and I don't know if Luigi did, it was called Teasing Master Takagi-san. It's all about this guy in middle school, and this girl sits next to him, and all she does is just prank the shit out of him. But it's adorable and wholesome. And I watched season 1, and I loved it. The voice actress who plays Megumi on Konosuba voices this character, and I love her. So
there it is.
Well, yes.
The motivation.
That's not the motivation, but she's just a great voice actress. Anyway, point is, Takagi season 1 was great. Crunchyroll and I think Funimation had it. Don't quote me on that. But Crunchyroll definitely had it. It was mysteriously not on any streaming service during the week it came out. And everyone's like, oh no. Does Netflix have it? And everyone's like, no. Netflix in Japan had it 2 years ago. There's no way they have it internationally this year. And since there's been no statement, it's all but confirmed that Netflix is holding it hostage until it's done airing.
Incredible. Like every other show they do.
So we're selling the 7 Seas for this one. But that was it for the Anime Expo announcements. More importantly, no, I'm not going to do the waifu wars shit. But real quick update.
No, you have to. You brought it up. Just do it.
Megumin got eliminated.
See
So
now,
we-
see now you have to bring it up though because you just said that.
No, I'm not going to walk through the brackets, but I just want to be very serious
All
here.
right, I
We're
guess
starting
I'll
to see
open it up
that-
and walk through the brackets.
Don't open it up. So a lot of Konosuba girls and a lot of Monogatari girls made it into the top 16, and now that everyone's salty that their favorite girl lost, everyone is anti-brigading the popular characters and knocking them out left and right. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping they would knock out some Konosuba girls. Like I wanted Aqua to get eliminated. She was up against Violet Evergarden. I thought that'd be cool, but it didn't work. Aqua's still in it, but Megumin
Aqua.
got eliminated.
Aqua.
Union
Aqua-
is still in it.
Why? Why? Why?
Because memes are real.
Like
Now, Union-
Aqua shouldn't be in it. Union shouldn't.
So
be
Union is up against a legitimate waifu, Luigi's favorite Hollow from Spice and Wolf. If she doesn't win this year and loses to Union, there's going to be actual rioting on the subreddit.
So I legitimately think they should do like a normal bracket system to get rid of this hate brigading.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
Like when you do like what is it, like March Madness, where everyone puts in a bracket at the start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
'Cause
But
then- 'cause then I
everyone
feel
likes everyone likes the daily matchups, though.
Yeah, but clearly they're also pieces of shit humans who are like, let's downvote someone else because my person lost. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, the thing is, like, for
How
like
fucking
March Madness,
pathetic.
you can work off statistics, say, like, X team is really good, but they're going to go up against someone they're not really good against. Like, you can map out the whole bracket. I can't tell you how Violet Evergarden is going to do versus Winry Rothmel in round 3 if either of them are there. Like, that's... With sports, you have real stats for. With waifus, it's all just dreams and memes, and I can't run statistics on that.
I
But I
feel like there
understand what you're
has to
saying.
be a better way to avoid the hate voting. Because that, like, it... Okay, as silly as it sounds, it feels like that doesn't actually get to the answer of what the whole point of the thing is. If you're just hate voting for people.
Well, the problem isn't with the system. The problem is with the users.
Well, welcome to the internet, Jesus.
Welcome, yes.
That's everything.
80% of the way there to Third Impact. Let's just keep moving along.
Oh my God.
Anyway, outside of anime news, let's talk about what we watched this week. Because I know the
Go-
entire
so you're
squad-
saying anime news.
still anime. This isn't news.
Look,
This
it's
is
anime
squad
plus
anime. This is-
Stranger Things, and we already covered Stranger Things, so it's anime.
So the entire podcast crew, including bonus cast member Luigi, all started watching Demon Slayer in the last week.
Sadly, we have
Oh,
not gotten
yeah.
past 3 yet. I
Okay,
really
I got
want
to
to.
4. And 4 is, without spoiling it, the voice
know.
actor for Dio shows up.
Ooh.
And I like the voice talent in the show has been great so far. So you know the teacher? He has the same
Yes.
voice actor who was Jiraiya in Naruto, aka another old man teacher. And they have the casting's been great in the show, but
Oh, I thought you were saying the teacher from like JoJo or something. Okay, yeah, the
No,
teacher.
no,
Yeah,
no.
from episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
from
guy
3,
in the
yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
The casting's been great. The animation, I think I talked about this very briefly last week. when I talked about
Gorgeous.
episode 1. Like there's a good amount of CG, but the way they use it is like this is the kind of CG I
Yep.
want to see in anime.
As soon as you see that intro, I was like, I'm in now. As soon as episode 1 ended and you saw the intro for the first time at the end, I was
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm in. This is like, I just want to see them fight like this. Just do this all the time.
Yeah, when that man, it was good. When man, I can't say spoilers, man.
Nah.
Please don't. Holy shit.
I
Just-
can't.
just
It's
allude to shit.
terrible. Something interesting. Something happened that I didn't expect them to do, and they
Ooh.
did it. And I was like, "Oh shit, they actually
Okay.
did it!"
Nice.
Whoa! It was during like literally the opening for the training or the final selection.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That whole final selection section.
Yeah, we already
I
know
was
that
like,
exists.
Whoa! Well, I know
That-
you, but the listeners.
Yeah, I know. But no. I'm saying like me and Friedman, having seen only 3 episodes, know that like it's not a spoiler. The final selection is a named thing.
Right. Oh,
we know
yeah,
he's
yeah,
heading
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I,
gotta
mean
say-
that's a given.
This show moves pretty quick so far. I know that it's just the first 3 episodes, but like we go from like the beginning of episode 1 to the Rock at the end of episode 3. That's only an
True.
hour of time.
So they managed to cut down this training arc episode really well. A lot of people were concerned they were going to spend a lot of time on it, and do your classic kind of just anime
Nah, it was
training arc.
great.
But they strategic uses of montages allowed them to cover. Let's just, if you're okay with me talking about the plot line of episode 3, the training arc takes place over I think it's like a year and 3/4.
Dude, 2 years passed from the beginning of the show to the end of episode 3.
Yeah,
that is
they did
fucking
a really good job of
crazy.
showing that.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, I think it's like halfway through 2 to the end of 3 is like almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. He's like,
And
yeah,
they
I
do
was
it
training for
very well.
6 months to do this.
Yeah.
It's like,
No
wow.
hyperbolic time chamber for 8 episodes. It's just
Yeah, they kind of
is
get
the-
straight to the point, and I like that a lot.
I will say it actually also does good because it makes the coma a lot more worrisome. Because it's not like, oh no, they've been asleep for 48 hours. Oh, what's wrong? This is like, yeah, they've been asleep for 2 years. What's going on right now?
Yeah.
That's cool though. I'm excited to. I
I
really
like
want to
this
keep
show.
watching.
I caught up already.
Tomorrow is going to be a lot of watching because tonight was, hey, get home late from work and then immediately podcast. So, like, eat dinner, get home, start cooking, eat dinner, then podcast. So didn't have time tonight, but tomorrow's probably going to be another catch-up night.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. I'm saving this for my Saturday watch. So I'll be watching a couple episodes every Saturday. So it's gonna take me a little while to catch up, but I'm not trying to rush it. I'm trying to enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
the
said,
rest-
I ate the ice cream too quickly on this one. I ain't gonna lie.
May have brain freeze.
is this coming
little
out
bit.
right now?
Yes, it's
Yes,
it's
airing right now.
What day?
Episode.
In case I catch up.
I have no clue. I never watch
they're
episodes
on
on the exact day anymore.
13.
Like Shield Hero was unique
okay.
because all of us were watching. it at
Yeah,
the
I was
same
gonna
time.
say, like, what do you mean you don't do that anymore? Shield Hero, we just all did it on like a month ago.
That and like maybe Naruto back when I had roommates who all watched it, but like I usually don't watch on day of release for most of these shows
Well,
anymore.
didn't you also do that for Attack on Titan, or no? You didn't watch day of.
Sometimes we did Sundays, but generally we just put it off to Mondays when my whole squad was
Oh, that's
free.
fair.
Oh shit. Yeah. Episode 14 came out.
Oh, the finale.
Saturdays at noon.
Wait, so did you not watch it?
Oh,
What?
Jesus.
I'm confused.
Someone's already watching it on your thing, Freeman.
Yes, I know. There's a lot of people on this account. like
I
more than I can
bookmarked it,
count.
though, for you though. I was the homie, and I bookmarked it because I know you'd be watching this shit.
Oh, thanks. Generally, I don't let anyone fuck with my queue, but thank you. I was wondering why it showed up there.
Because I was gone. I was like, nah, I can't, and then all of a sudden, like you started watching. I'm like, hot button.
Hell yeah. But the rest of the Weeblets out there are going to get to watch it too. It sounds like the dub is coming to Toonami really soon, so
Oh wow.
I'll get to enjoy
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah, we're now in that era of just anime coming out real fast. Like, this is a big thing. You're going to start not hearing the same voices in anime so much anymore because the industry has shifted from a lot of these talents where you come in and you record a whole season over the course of a week versus now these actors you need to come in for 30 minutes a week and just record a couple lines.
Yeah.
So-
Right.
Since
so
we're
this,
now
like-
weekly releasing instead of doing it all, getting it all ready.
Yeah, it's really changing the industry. Could be good, could be bad. We'll see. All I know is the Weeblets are getting some good dubbed anime real fast.
What
Should we go on the next
about
What is
Oh, wait,
Dr.
do we-
Stone?
So I'll talk about Dr. Stone real briefly. So you know how Crunchyroll was really all in on pushing Shield Hero last season because it was the show they spent a lot of money funding?
Oh my god, they're pushing this show.
So Dr. Stone is the show that they pushed super hard for
Like,
this
you
season.
sound super depressed about this.
So literally every
Every fucking ad on their website is Dr.
Yes.
Stone.
Oh,
Like,
I don't go
it's
on the website, so I don't
every
know.
but like they have multiple ads on their website and they're all just Dr. Stone layered on top of each other.
I literally
that-
only open the app and I'm immediately in my queue, so I never see anything. That's funny.
Nah, you open that shit up like
Let me go to the
Shield
website
Hero
and see.
had
I
like
want to
a
see.
banner. Dr. Stone has like the banner in addition to like the top layer of the thing or whatever. Then you got the
Oh.
sides.
Huh. I just opened it up and I'm getting Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, they now there's a Mob Psycho mobile app they're pushing. Anyway,
Oh, you're right.
I'm going to describe the plot of Dr. Stone that was told to me before I saw episode 1, and this was the one that I think the first trailer when it came out they announced this. But
Oh,
the
this
plot
is
line
what this kid is. Sorry, I
the-
saw a
the
picture of
kid
a
who
guy
has
with the
weird
green tips.
onion-looking hair.
The
Yeah.
green tips, yeah. So
So there's these two kids in high school. One of them is your typical like athletic kid, and one is Mr. Science. The athletic guy is straight up in the middle of confessing to this girl he's been in love with when suddenly the earth faces its apocalypse. All life just becomes petrified and turned to stone. Thousands of years later, the two guys wake up, and through the power of science, they start to figure out how they can unpetrify people and try to rebuild society. But the smart guy, who I'm assuming he'll become Dr. Stone, is like, no, we're skipping the Stone Age. I need to like get us back to modern civilization as fast as possible.
I
So
need
these
to.
two- yeah, like, he's like, I'm going to, and you, muscle dude, you're gonna help me do it, because the two of them
my
are already best friends. So they're playing this weird game of rebuilding society, and everyone's just photoshopping the two of them into pictures of Minecraft. That's basically what this is right now.
That is the meme right now.
But
Yes.
it was a really good episode, and the science is legit. So
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm gonna keep watching this, and
All right.
if
I'll
I stop,
wait to
Crunch
add
will
it to
remind
my
me every day of
queue.
my life to watch it.
I'll wait till to add it to my queue until you've watched a few and said if it's good.
Yeah, I'd wait a couple on this one. It had a strong first episode, but I'm concerned that the concept won't.
Because it's a
stick
sick
for too
concept.
long.
Not gonna lie,
That
that's a cool idea.
This is a Shonen Jump magazine show, and it is doing really well in the manga. So I expect it has material to work off of that's actually interesting.
Gotcha.
Also, I read through the chapter that they adapted in this episode, and they adapted it really closely. So I expect that it's going to be a decent adaptation.
Gotcha.
Anyway, on to the next one. I talked brief about Fire Force, and we didn't know how many episodes there were going to be. Fire Force comes from an interesting lineage of studios. So David Production, the studio who did Cells at Work, but is more famously known for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, had announced recently that Studio Shaft, one that was famous for the Monogatari series, or if anyone's heard of it, Madoka Magica, they do a lot of these like crazier series. And recently, there's been a falling out between their more talented staff who's been there a while and the current directors. And it's basically caused the studio split in half. All the talent said, we want out. And then David Production said, hey, we're going to work on this show about like firefighter heroes from the author of Soul Eater. Would you guys be interested? And they're just like, fuck it, why not? So all of this one studio Shaft joined with David Productions to make Fire Force. And it feels like we're watching like a Hero Academia style show, but with the animation budget of a 12 episode series. Like, it looks way nicer than a normal action shonen would look.
Huh.
The question is whether they'll keep up that animation quality throughout the series, but I have high hopes for this one.
It's really, and you know what? You said Soul Eater. I'm like, oh, that's where, because I kept looking at it the entire episode, and I was like, where have I seen these kind of character designs before?
Oh yeah, all the
and
characters
it kept
do look
bugging me.
Yeah, his smile is straight up like ripped off of Soul Eater Evans from Soul Eater.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about. I honestly just like Demon Slayer. Actually, I chose this one at random. Actually, no, it was a little biased, right? It was a little biased. I was like, oh, a show about firefighters? That's kind of cool. And I was like, oh, my dad's a firefighter. I can get into this. And so I started
I apologize.
and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
So what you're saying is this is how you're gonna get your dad into anime?
No, my dad would never watch this. Not at all. Actually,
like...
my dad did watch Dragon Ball Z with me when I was a kid.
Oh, the Gateway anime,
cool.
of course.
Yeah, he did watch the Gateway anime with me. But no, I think it's interesting. I'm still unsure about it, but I like the first episode though.
It depends on how they develop it, because I feel like something's going to change. It's for anyone's interested in what this concept is. It's just like with Dr. Stone, everyone suddenly got petrified. At some point, about 3 generations ago, people started spontaneously combusting. And as time went on, like I think there was a generation that could control when they combust, and they became known as firefighters. And then from the second generation on, they became better at controlling themselves. And the main character is part of the third generation, where he can actually use his flame to like fight, essentially.
And they are concentrated in his feet.
Yeah, so they're part of this team that goes around fighting people. Like when people combust, they become these demons. So they're going around fighting these demons, but they're also actual firefighters.
Yes. I would say more like, I would almost argue that they are more paladins though. Paladin and clerics.
Yeah, they do have a priest on their team to like, because the thing is, there's this whole idea of like they're fighting these demons, but there's a person still inside of it. So you gotta like, what's the term I'm looking for?
Like last rites.
Have restraint.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Like what's shit? What's it called when the church does it? Is that what you're talking about?
Like
exorcism.
Sort of.
It's not even like that. Like when they kill these things, they die, but you have the priest there, like, or priestess, like, Umo Gwegwe Fagi Tao, blessed the Mother,
Damn.
Mary, the Holy Spirit, all that shit.
All
Like-
that and all that
Like
shit.
Jackie Chan Adventures, basically.
Oh
And Jackie
my
Chan
God.
Adventures, hell yeah.
Anyway, but it's really well animated. The voice cast is good. There was only one scene with like, what's the term I'm looking for? Heavy plot at one point in the episode.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
hell yeah. When she bent over, I was like, yo.
Yes, I was like, all right, I can't. Like, the problem is it killed the legitimacy of that show. I can't show it to anyone now. I need to like.
No,
make sure
you
it's good
still
before I recommend
can.
it.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
I wish I had my soundboard open for that one.
I'm gonna
Tyler,
bring a
guy.
thing up on one of the next things we're gonna talk. Actually, the next thing we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna bring that up.
Yeah, so because we mentioned plot, it's a perfect transition. Because also at Anime Expo, Crunchyroll announced they were going to be getting the OVAs for the show. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what the full title was. I was about to say, "Is it wrong to reincarnate as a slime?" But then I realized I'm combining that with the show. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Which I haven't started season 2 of yet.
too many isekais.
Too many
This is-
shitty
I
isekai.
still need to start watching that. Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attack, or whatever the fuck it is? This
Oh
season.
my god,
Which will from this point on just be known as MILF Isekai because it's easier to call.
I didn't see it, but I saw it on. I think it's on
Oh my
Crunchyroll, right?
God.
I think I saw that.
I'm not sure if it is. I gotta watch it. But point is, Crunchyroll has the Slime OVA, and it's led to some confusion because they put the OVA up. I think it was on Saturday, and it's labeled episode 2.
Episode 2. Yep.
So
Jesus.
I didn't watch it because I'm like, I guess they didn't upload episode 1 yet, and it'd be weird to watch it out of chronological order. Except it's correct. This is episode 2. This of the 2 OVAs that came out, the first one that was supposed to come out like January or February got delayed until December. But they didn't want to disturb the release pipeline of having
Not
episode
this
2
shit.
come out as a DVD with one of the volumes of the manga. So they released episode 2 before episode 1 for reasons, and now episode 2 is on Crunchyroll and episode 1 is coming out till December.
This sounds like the
So-
Netflix renumbering shit from a while ago.
Oh, from when they were trying to do 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah,
they named
yeah,
the
yeah,
OVA
yeah,
season
yeah.
2, even though the next season's just
Oh
called
my
7
God,
Deadly
that
Sins
makes
2.
sense now. So, you said, did you still not watch it, Freeman?
I'm gonna watch it tonight now that I know that it's the only episode to watch.
Okay, so
because I
Val
know
and
that
I
it's the
started
swimsuit
watching it
episode.
over dinner. Yeah, it's this one. It's the beach episode. But speaking of heavy plot, so you can imagine, because of course
I've seen
this
the
is
screenshots.
well, also because this is the game, or this is the universe where every single race, regardless of how they were originally, their girls turn into hot girls, and all the guys stay whatever they were. Every time. So they're all there, and it's such a funny double take because they do the scene where they show all the girls in their bathing suits because spandex exists in this universe for some reason.
Dude, for real though, like if
I'm not
If
even
Do-
kidding. They
if
actually
Dr.
use
Stone
the
is
word
about building
spandex.
society, slime is just as much about rebuilding society as this show is.
But they show all the girls in their bathing suits, and then they cut to all the guys, and Reamer is like, "Oh God, put it away, stop." But then they're all swimming. They all go swimming together, and they get attacked. We stopped in the middle just as the attack started, because of course they immediately say there's a monster in the lake. And they get attacked by something that's like a seaweed monster. We didn't even see it. The last shot we saw before we had to stop for the podcast was fucking Rimuru gets caught and dragged under the lake, so he cuts the thing and swims up, and everyone else is suspended in the air by the seaweed tentacles.
Oh my
God
god.
damn it.
And immediately cuts to
Real
the first
meta culture.
the first girl with the one sliding down her chest, and Val stands up and says, "No, we're done."
What do you mean? It's just getting started.
But then the greatest part is I'm laughing my ass off, and then it cuts to all the guys, and they're having the same thing happening to them. Like, Gabiru was getting his legs pulled open by the fucking tentacle monster.
God damn. That's some true culture shit.
That's exactly where we stopped. I was cracking up because they so overdo it. Oh my god. Oh, Freeman, you'll also appreciate this. Best doggo ever. He gets a full body bathing suit, and Rimuru even comments that he looks adorable.
Yes. Hell yeah.
It is so. The whole episode is Rimuru is trying to make beanbag chairs. That's the whole point of the episode.
This sounds like an OVA if I ever heard one. Holy shit! All right, I'm watching this one tonight.
In terms of timing for this, it's after. So there's no way to tell if it's before the kids or after the kids, but it's got to be after Milim.
Because she's in the episode, right?
She's in the episode.
I'm assuming it's
Also,
before while they're doing this whole city build-up
there
thing.
is such a hilariously dumb scene when she shows up in the episode. Do you want me to just say it, or do you want to see
No.
it?
I want to experience
That's
this
fine.
disaster myself.
It is so fucking. Anyway, we're probably gonna finish it tonight before bed because we're 7 minutes left. It's a normal episode length. We just happened to run out of time before Val had to go and I had to get on the podcast. But oh my god, it's just the beach episode. That's all it is.
God damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move to the last one here because I didn't know that anyone was watching this show.
Oh
Tyler?
yeah, it's just me. I'm watching
I should watch
Gundam
it
Iron Blooded
someday.
Orphans.
Hell yeah!
What Tim? What was it?
Someday I'll watch a non-Gundam Wing Gundam series. Finally,
I mean, Gundam IBO. If you don't talk about the Gundam Build Fighter series because it's a bullshit advertisement for the Gundam toys, Gundam Iron Blood Orphans was the last I can't even say it was the last legit Gundam because now they're coming with all this like Gundam remake stuff, but it was the last original Gundam series to come out.
I know it's good. I
mean, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but
no, I know. There's also so many other shows. Like I want to go back and finish Kakiguri, and
Yeah, there's
we're
a lot of stuff.
watching Demon Slayer and Stranger Things, and I think there's at least one other show that I could think of. Anyway, talk about it.
anyway, so Tyler,
Yeah.
how much did you see?
Let's see. I am on episode 6 right now.
So, do you understand what I meant when I said it reminds me of the cast dynamic of Gurren Lagann?
Okay, that makes more sense. Cause I was like, cause what was I gonna do? I was gonna talk to my buddy because he's been on a huge Gundam kick lately.
Yeah.
Like he watched literally everything.
I was trying to do that for a while, but I couldn't. I made it through like the original series and had to take a break.
Oh yeah, well that's why so he didn't watch everything. He tried watching like Mobile Suit Gundam, and he's like, dude, this is too dated. I can't do this.
Yeah, I just watched the recap movies, even then it wasn't that good. You got to start at like
Yeah.
Zeta Gundam.
But I really like this so far, and yes, it has that.
The Sinon Kamina dynamic.
It really does, except for the fact that like the kid who pilots the Gundam, he's a psychopath.
Oh, he is.
I love it.
These characters are damaged, and I like it.
I was like, there's nothing happy-go-lucky about all this. That like, we're dudes trying to make our way, and we're gonna do what it takes. I'm like, I like this. I like this a lot. This is what I've been talking about.
Yeah, no, the show's really good. With every Gundam, it pulls some ass pulls towards the end, but it still manages to stay like semi-serious the entire time.
Yeah,
So,
like
definitely
I'm
good.
enjoying what I am seeing so far.
Like you're not gonna get any
Actually-
shining fingers in this show, but still.
You're gonna get some gritty realism though.
Yeah.
You're gonna you get hit with some real shit. Like there's like it touches on like some interesting politics, like planetary politics, child soldiers.
Child soldiers is a big theme for this one.
And like
That's every
they don't-
Gundam.
but like that they
No, like
pull-
there's more than just like one child soldier. It's like what happened if you had a battalion of them?
Yeah, but that's the theme of
there's a
child
reason.
soldier is always in a Gundam, whether
Yeah,
it's
but
one or
like,
many. But
it's heavier in this one.
okay.
it is heavier, and they like I said, they don't pull punches. Like the kids die.
Okay.
Like actually like there are scenes where kids just straight up die. And it's like holy shit. Like they actually kind of take, I would say, some influence because they give some reason as to why the main character is able to pilot this particular mobile suit. And like they attribute it to partially like because he is a child, and this is why they have child soldiers. And I'm like, oh,
There's a really good explanation for it that makes perfect sense in the show.
yeah. Would you say? I was gonna say because I feel like I draw parallels with that and Eva, but would you say
Yeah.
that this is better
Yeah,
Explain the
because
Eva?
Eva does a good job of not explaining it to you, so it seems profound when they explain it. For this one, they straight up tell you up front why he can, and it makes sense. But the significance of it grows over time about like why he's in that position. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
Okay,
simple.
yeah.
Like anyone who looks at the poster sees he has this thing coming out of his neck. So it's like that's why. But like the implications of why he has that plug in the back of his neck become more important as the show goes on.
Hmm. Yeah, I, don't know,
Yeah.
I like it so far. Tim, if you ever get a chance, I mean,
I
there are
know,
like
I'd like
52
to.
episodes.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons.
I gotta say, one other thing I just noticed because I was looking on Netflix to see if I was watching anything else. I couldn't remember. Freeman, I know you said you watched Agretsuko. Are you gonna watch season 2?
I haven't watched season 1 yet. My sister and a bunch
Oh,
of my friends really like it because it's very millennial humor, but in an
yes.
anime
Oh God.
about like being
I
angry at
thought
your
you
workplace.
watched it.
I
Didn't
haven't
we?
seen it yet, but
Okay.
it's on my coming up list.
Okay, because I thought we at least talked about it one time that it existed, but okay.
I think I talked about season 2 a couple weeks ago when it just dropped all of a sudden.
I thought it just dropped like right now. Netflix has trailers for season 2 that are like in new episodes. Is
I
it
mean,
that
it came
old?
out like 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh fuck, ignore me then.
Yeah.
I know we were gonna do a topic, but we're already an hour and a half in, and it's 10 o'clock. Is it fair
Yeah,
to?
no, we're not doing a topic tonight.
Hey,
It's a
look,
little
the
too-
weeb
also,
shit
we started late.
took 40 minutes.
God damn it!
Look, next week. Okay, I see. Next week we're not gonna have all this stuff from Anime Expo and everything, so maybe we'll actually get the topic.
Well, I'm curious what
You're
time
funny.
I'm curious what time I finished the Anime Expo news at and we actually started just talking about shit we watched because I feel like
Dude, that's good too.
that was no, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm curious how much I spent on Anime Expo news. So
I don't know. I didn't
I'll do the
timestamp it.
math when this episode comes out, and you can catch me in the comments complaining.
Catch me in the comments. How about that?
Get the fuck out of here with these elder rules. Anyway, that's it for the weeb shit.
And what did you do this week, Freeman, other than all the weeb shit we already talked about in Stranger Things?
So
Since we already talked about all these shows.
Played way too much Monster Hunter, but apparently nowhere near as much as Tim did.
Woo! Fuck me. I hate everything. I have
Yeah,
24 hours in the game already.
It was a little under a week. So it was last Wednesday we started playing. And
No, didn't we start playing before the podcast last week? Because I complained about the controls in the podcast, and I was like, ugh.
Yes.
Oh, was I thought we?
Yeah, we started like Sunday last week or something, or Monday last week. It's been only a little over a week
Jesus.
either way that we played.
Like I remember playing on the 4th of
Fuck
July,
me.
but anyway, we played a lot of Monster Hunter.
Ugh.
Watched a bunch of the new anime. I wrapped up a couple that like are so insignificant I don't even remember them right now, so I'm not going to talk about them.
God damn.
No, hold on. I'm determined to figure out what the fuck did I finish watching in the last week. It was something. It was something shitty. It was
something
what the
shitty.
fuck was it? No, I haven't finished anything since Attack on Titan. I don't know what it was I was thinking of then. Anyway, not too much besides that. Magic Arena had the M20 launched. I played some sealed. I went, I think 6-2. It was going really well, and then my opponents just like were dropping mythics on me. Like, all right,
Suddenly,
cool, you got
Super
real lucky.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to do well given that all my rares were ass. Like I pulled 2 Grafdigger's Cage, which do nothing in limited.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
I did really well just playing Common Flyer. So I had fun with that. I almost made back all the money I put into that sealed set. Now I'm just grinding away at Arena till rotation. That's it for me.
Tyler?
Oh, what am I doing? Man, I got so many things happening.
Yeah, we got to talk about potentially another one after the podcast.
A potential wait, what?
A potential another thing you're going to be doing, but you're free to say no to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It involves D&D. We'll talk about it after.
Oh, okay. So, I'm writing stuff for D&D. I got a big thing going, and I don't know why I'm doing it because I have no time, but I'm doing it anyway.
We're doing it live. We're doing it anyway.
Doing it live. I'm working this weekend. You know what else is new? Gonna still watch Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yeah.
I started playing Monster Hunter. I think I'm gonna drop it though. Sorry, Friedman.
That's okay.
We'll talk about it in my week because we're gonna fucking.
Because that was all Tim's week was.
Yeah, I started it and I was like,
stop it.
At least you gave it a shot.
I'll say I feel like 10 hours is a fair try.
I agree wholeheartedly.
There are other important things that are happening. but I can't think about them. I don't know. All I know is that I literally have something going on after work every single day this week.
Yep.
And
Is it stuff you want to be doing or stuff you don't want to be doing?
both.
Is it a balance or is it very lopsided?
I think it's more stuff I do want to do, but
Oh, well, that's
I
good.
think my wish is that it was more spaced out.
Yeah, I
is what
can
I'm
definitely
saying.
understand that.
Like I wish these things were like spaced out a lot more instead of like all crammed in, because like something
That's
came
just
up
the way it
tomorrow,
is.
and then Thursday before D&D, I'm giving like a mini shooting lessons to someone, and then Friday, um, I don't know if Leslie's involved or she will be, but people want to do stuff. Saturday, oh shit, I forgot what I was doing Saturday. All right, whatever. And then Sunday I'm working, and then after that I like, oh yeah, no, Saturday is my other D&D game that I'm in the process of leaving,
Yeah.
and then something else is out is after that, but whatever. But that's my week. It's super busy. Probably not gonna have enough time to play games or really watch anime, but I'll try.
So, speaking of all that, Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
So last week we talked about how I was not very happy with Monster Hunter. In some ways, I'm still not very happy with Monster Hunter, but I ended up putting 24 hours into Monster Hunter since I bought it. I am having an obnoxious amount of fun hunting monsters with other people. I finally got a handle on my fucking greatsword build.
Once you understand the weapon, it makes everything
See,
so
you
much
know what's funny?
better.
I feel like I totally am still fucking up half of the mechanics. I'm pretty sure I'm missing out on half of it still, but I don't care. I still soloed monsters that Aiden went, wow, I kind of didn't expect you to solo that monster.
Wait, have you
Dude,
watched the what's his channel? I think it's like Arex Gaming.
Yeah, I watched that way back when we first bought the game, and that was the only thing I've watched.
rewatched his Charge Blade video like 6 times.
Yeah,
and
I
think
watched
I
it
finally
once.
understand everything.
Dude, I soloed Diablos to end
I
off my
recommend watching the video
campaign.
one more time to catch on that one little thing you missed the first time you
I will
watched
probably do that tomorrow. I still don't know how to like tackle out of shit. I just roll like panic. I don't do any of the other swings. Anyway, Monster Hunter World. If you are going to play only by yourself, do not buy this game. If you have friends, like I thankfully do, I mean, the 4 of us 3 plus Aiden were playing a bunch.
Tim flexing on our listeners that don't have any friends over here.
Yeah, true. I mean, they don't have friends, Freeman. Come on.
Jesus Christ,
Wow.
please stop making fun of them. They're going to stop listening to us.
If you have friends to play with this game, or even if you just are willing to find randoms online to play the game with, this game is a ton of fun running around, collecting shit, just hunting really cool monsters, following them around the level, running into other monsters as they ambush you and all this other stuff. The story doesn't matter. You can play a lot of the single-player missions by yourself, but you will need help on a lot of the other stuff. But it's just fun. I don't know. It's just been scratching an itch for me where there's not a lot of plot, but it's just a gameplay loop I can kind of get into, which I feel like I've been looking for a while now. Something I don't really have to think about the plot. I can just relax when I'm home. Like, oh, I'll go on a quick hunt mission where I hunt even just minor monsters.
You mean to tell me you're not enjoying the lore of... No, I'm joking.
I don't give a shit.
The lore is nothing. It's an excuse to go on hunting missions.
Yeah, and then it's an excuse to activate high rank, which I just yesterday unlocked after 20 hours playing this game. And now I have a whole new world of horrible levels of upgrades that I need to grind for.
This is the shit I live for.
Honestly, after this podcast, I'm probably going to play for a little bit with Aiden because I told him we would. And then Tyler probably is going to hang out. And then Freeman, we might help you get up to high rank so that you can
Also,
help
you guys
me
can
and
go do
Aiden.
high rank shit. I'll just power through the story missions now.
You can honestly solo them. Like,
yeah, the story missions aren't that hard.
no, like, honestly, so fighting Diablos is pretty tough by yourself. But as long as you maybe it's the greatsword, but I've been doing a lot of hit and run. Like, dart in, get a charge hit.
I play the shield
I
classes.
think you'll be okay. I fainted a few times, but I never actually failed a quest until just earlier before the podcast when I failed that Anjanath high rank solo.
Yeah.
Before that, I hadn't actually failed a single quest by myself in the storyline. The only thing I needed help for is the second Zora Magdaros mission, which is so stupid and gimmicky. I fainted more on that mission than on fucking Diablos. That's how shittily designed that mission is. But yeah, it's been scratching an itch. I don't know. Maybe I'll live stream it a little bit. It's very impenetrable. I will say it helps a lot to know someone. I don't think I'd be nearly this far into it without Aiden helping us through the beginning.
Here's the thing: everyone I know who plays Monster Hunter World just tries to recruit other people in because, as you said, it's more fun when you have friends to help you.
Yes.
It's also
Yeah,
this is also very
would
easy to not get into this.
I
Yeah.
would not play this game if I didn't have anyone to play with at all.
So Tyler,
It's
you
very
said you're
confusing.
probably done playing it. That I can totally understand it. I still don't love the combat. I think I still would prefer a game where it's more Dark Soulsy combat, where you can lock onto an enemy and strafe around and dart, and it's a lot more clear where the attacks are going. Like, there's a lot of cool geometry in these missions, like in the forest, but then the monster like clips down the cliff as he does his lunge attack, and suddenly you get smashed and knocked over, like Anjanath. Get knocked over, and then when your character's slowly standing up, he just hits you again and you die. And there's like nothing you can do about it. And that sucks so much.
The trick is to not get knocked down in the first place.
But the hope is that while you're getting knocked down, your friends are all walloping the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun with it. I'm going to stick with it for a little while. I mean, I soloed up to high rank, so I'm pretty happy with myself. So I'm going to just try to keep grinding it out cuz a lot of the armor's cool, a lot of the weapons are cool. And there's even more new monsters at high rank, which I didn't even think was possible. Like, there's so many new monsters that are
Yeah, there's
crazy.
a ton you don't get to at low rank.
So I haven't played a lot of JRPGs. Like, we've established how I haven't played Final Fantasies and stuff, because everyone said about Final Fantasy like 10. After over 10 hours, the game gets good. And I feel like this is the first game where I'm actually doing that, where the game is getting good after 20
35
hours.
hours in Final Fantasy 10. It's just as shitty as when I started.
Jeez. Or no, 13, sorry. Or wasn't it like 20 hours as the meme or something? I don't know. Either way, 20 hours into Monster Hunter World, you unlock high rank, and suddenly the game is a whole new world. And I don't know. It's definitely not perfect, but like I keep saying, it's just a fun gameplay loop. Some missions take 20 minutes to hunt a big thing. Some missions take 5 to hunt small things.
Wait, hold the fuck up. Donkey has a Monster Hunter World video I haven't seen.
Yeah, I
yet.
watched it. It was that video came out when I started watching Donkey, actually. That was like his
man.
newest video when I first watched him. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I gotta watch this one.
Yeah,
then.
I actually rewatched it yesterday because I was like, hey, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. I should rewatch that Donkey video now that I know what's happening in the video. But yeah, other than that, we talked about every show I've been watching. Oh, shit. I almost forgot. Val and I saw Spider-Man Far From Home on Sunday.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
I liked it a lot. It's still unclear where the MCU goes forward. I think the way they handled Mysterio was amazing. I really loved the whole plot thread of this movie. I actually loved it a lot. And there are a few callbacks to Iron Man. I mean, that's in the trailer where he's like,
Yeah.
I see Iron Man everywhere. I think they handle that all really well. There's definitely a few weird things, but overall, like 90%, I'm really impressed with how this movie came together. And there are big implications, actually. This is one of the ones where the scene after the credits, not the... Okay, so you know how there's the pre-credits post scene and the post-credits post scene now?
Right.
Yeah.
And usually the post-credits is like goofy, but the pre-one is like kind of a teaser. In this case, you have to see the post-credits scene because it is probably directly leading into at least one more Marvel movie, if not multiple, with the implications.
Oh, I gotta watch because of the implications. Got it.
No, I think Far
implications.
From Home was great. I don't know if it's as good as Homecoming was, but it was very good, and I would have to think about it between the two. I'd probably want to see it again, to be sure. But I liked it a
Probably
lot.
watch Homecoming first.
Yes,
Still haven't
definitely.
watched it.
You have to watch Homecoming before you watch this movie. Don't even bother if you don't.
All right, good.
But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, because I talked about the Avengers re-released last week because we saw that 2 weeks ago for her birthday. So yeah, that's about it. Got a bunch of Commander cards in. Thankfully, none of them banned. But yeah, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for listening. My name's Timpedia,
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
and we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.